I'm going to be straight with you. What I'm about to share in the next 20 minutes will completely transform your perspective on every human interaction for the rest of your existence. Your father didn't teach you this. Your teachers certainly didn't. Most men will die without ever understanding these fundamentals. 5 centuries ago, a man named Niccolò Machiavelli documented the most dangerous truths about human nature ever recorded. Truths so disturbing that his work was banned by the Catholic Church. Truths so powerful that all world leaders study them secretly while publicly condemning them. And here's something that will blow your mind. These aren't mere theories. This is the operating manual for how human beings actually function. Not how we pretend to function. Not how we wish we functioned. How we actually function. Why did your father never teach you this? Simple. Because his father didn't teach him either. Because we've been conditioned to believe that understanding power makes you evil, that thinking strategically makes you manipulative, that seeing reality clearly makes you cynical. Well, I'm about to make you cynical, powerful, and dangerous, because ignorance isn't virtue, it's fragility. But before we dive deep, let me tell you why this matters right now. Today, in 2025, we live in an age of unprecedented manipulation. Social media algorithms are designed to exploit your emotions. Politicians craft messages to trigger your deepest fears and desires. Corporations spend billions studying your psychological triggers. Everyone around you is using these principles, whether they admit it or not. The difference is, they're using them unconsciously, messily, without understanding the full framework. After today, you'll see the matrix, you'll understand the game, and most importantly, you'll know how to play it better than anyone else. Asterisk, historical context. Why Machiavelli was revolutionary. Asterisk, let me give you some context that will blow your mind. Machiavelli lived during the Italian Renaissance, a time when Italy was divided into warring city-states. He witnessed firsthand how power really worked, not through noble intentions or moral superiority, but through strategic thinking and understanding human psychology. He served as a diplomat and political advisor, watching kingdoms rise and fall. He saw good men get destroyed by ruthless opponents. He watched moral leaders lose everything because they refused to acknowledge the darker aspects of human nature. When he wrote The Prince in 1513, he wasn't writing fantasy. He was documenting patterns he'd observed across decades of political warfare. This wasn't theory. This was survival manual based on real-world observation. The Catholic Church banned his work, not because it was evil, but because it was true. It exposed how power actually works, stripping away the comfortable lies that keep people compliant and predictable. And here's the thing, nothing has changed. Human nature is exactly the same today as it was 500 years ago. The principles that worked then worked now. The only difference is the technology we use to express these timeless patterns. First truth, people are emotional creatures. Asterisk, here's the first truth. Your father never told you. People are not rational agents seeking their best interests. They are emotional creatures trying to avoid pain and discomfort. Machiavelli wrote, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see and few can feel." Translation, people make decisions based on what looks good, not what is good. Let me give you some modern examples that will make this crystal clear. Watch this play out everywhere. Your friend who asks for dating advice but ignores it because it requires effort. Your co-worker who complains about being broke while buying daily Starbucks. The woman who says she wants a nice guy but consistently chooses the opposite. But let's go deeper. Why do people do this? Because emotions are faster than logic. When faced with a decision, your brain processes emotional information 500 milliseconds before rational information. This means people feel before they think. This is why marketing works. This is why political campaigns focus on fear and hope rather than policy details. This is why dating advice that sounds logical often fails in practice. Here's a real-world example. A man approaches a woman with perfectly logical reasons why she should date him. He's stable, reliable, has a good job, treats her well. Meanwhile, another man makes her feel excited, challenged, uncertain. Who does she choose? The one who triggered stronger emotions, even if he's objectively worse for her. What this means for you in practical terms. Never try to convince someone using logic alone. Appeal to their emotions, their image, their immediate gratification. Want to influence someone? Don't tell them what's best for them. Show them what makes them feel better about themselves. In business negotiations, don't just present data. Frame that data in terms of how it makes the other person look good to their superiors. In relationships, don't just be a good provider. Create emotional experiences, anticipation, excitement, even productive tension. Most men try to win arguments with facts. Alpha males win by understanding that facts don't change minds, feelings do. The man who masters this controls any environment he enters. But here's the advanced level. Once you understand this, you also understand how to protect yourself from emotional manipulation. When someone is trying to pressure you into a decision, ask yourself, what emotion are they trying to trigger? What do they want me to feel? This awareness is your shield. Second truth. Strategic loyalty. Asterisk, your father probably taught you that loyalty is everything, that you should be loyal to your friends, your company, your woman. That loyalty is a virtue in itself, something that makes you a good man. Machiavelli had different ideas. He said, since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved. But let me clarify something important here. Machiavelli wasn't advocating for cruelty or being hated. He was making a practical observation. Love is fickle and conditional, but respect based on strength is more reliable. Here's the brutal reality. Loyalty without reciprocity is just being used. Think about the most successful men you know. Are they blindly loyal? Of course not. They're strategically loyal. They understand that loyalty is a two-way street, and the moment someone breaks that contract, all bets are off. Let me give you some examples that will hit close to home. That friend who only calls when he needs something, he's not loyal to you. That company that preaches family values while laying people off to boost quarterly profits, it's not loyal to you. That woman who keeps her options open while expecting your exclusive commitment, she's not loyal to you. But here's where most men get it wrong. They either become completely cynical and trust no one, or they continue being loyal to people who don't deserve it. Both approaches are failures. The strategic approach is this: be generous with your loyalty initially, but have clear boundaries and consequences. Make it clear what you expect in return, and when someone violates that trust, withdraw your loyalty immediately and completely. Here's a practical example. You help a friend move apartments, lend him money when he's short, support him through a breakup, but when you need help, he's always busy. When you ask for the money back, he makes excuses. This is someone who's taking your loyalty without returning it. The strategic response isn't to get angry or try to make him feel guilty. Simply stop being available. Don't cut him off dramatically, that's emotional. Just become unavailable for his requests while maintaining basic civility. A man who continues giving loyalty where it's not returned isn't noble. He's a fool. And fools get walked on. But here's the flip side. When you find people who do reciprocate your loyalty, double down on those relationships. These are rare and valuable. Invest deeply in people who prove themselves worthy of investment. Machiavelli's lesson: inspire loyalty through strength and value, not through weakness and need. People are loyal to those who can help them achieve their goals, not to those who desperately need their approval. Third truth: reputation is about respect. Asterisk, here's something your father definitely didn't teach you. Your reputation isn't about being liked. It's about being respected. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Translation: perception is reality in human interactions. Most men think authenticity means showing everything about yourself, your insecurities, your struggles, your weaknesses. They think this makes them real and honest. Wrong. Strategic authenticity means controlling what people see while remaining true to your core values. It means understanding that different situations require different aspects of your personality to be emphasized. You know what's interesting? The men who complain about being misunderstood are usually those with the weakest reputations. They think if people just knew the real them, everything would change. They blame others for not getting it. Here's the truth: they can't handle. The real you isn't what matters in most interactions. What matters is the version of you that serves your goals and helps others achieve theirs. Let me break this down with practical examples. Want to be seen as competent at work? Never complain about problems without presenting solutions. Never say, "I don't know." Say, "Let me find out and get back to you." Never defend your decisions to people who can't affect your career trajectory. Asterisk. Want to be seen as attractive to women? Don't always be available. Create some mystery about your life. Don't share every detail of your day or your feelings. Let her wonder what you're thinking sometimes. Want to be seen as a leader among your friends. Be the one who makes decisions about where to go, what to do. Be the one others call when they need advice, but never be the one who desperately seeks attention or validation. Here's the advanced level. Consistency plus mystery plus controlled vulnerability equals magnetic reputation. Consistency means your behavior is predictable in terms of your standards and values, but not predictable in terms of your responses. People know what you stand for, but they don't know exactly how you'll handle each situation. Mystery means you don't overshare. You don't explain everything. You let people fill in the blanks about your life, and they'll usually fill them in favorably. Controlled vulnerability means you share personal things strategically, not desperately. You open up when it serves a purpose to deepen a relationship, to teach a lesson, to demonstrate strength through overcoming challenges. The goal isn't to be fake or manipulative. The goal is to be strategic about which aspects of your authentic self you emphasize in different contexts. Fourth truth: conflict is inevitable. Asterisk, your father probably taught you to avoid conflict. Be peaceful. Try to get along with everyone. Turn the other cheek. Peace is always better than war. Fighting never solves anything. Machiavelli said the opposite. There is no avoiding war. It can only be postponed to the advantage of others. What this really means: conflict isn't something that happens to you. It's something that's always happening around you. And if you're not prepared, you're already losing. Let me explain why this mindset is crucial in today's world. We live in competitive environments, whether we acknowledge it or not. Your career is competitive. Someone else wants your promotion. Your relationships exist in a competitive marketplace. Other men are willing to take your place. Your social status is competitive. Others are trying to climb the same ladder. Every successful man I know understands this principle. They're not looking for fights, but they're never surprised by them. They prepare for confrontation during times of peace. Here's what this looks like practically. In your career, someone is always trying to take your position. They're not necessarily doing it maliciously. They just want to advance, and your spot might be the next logical step. If you're not prepared for this competition, you'll lose by default. In relationships, there's always another man willing to take your place. Again, not necessarily maliciously. He just sees an opportunity with someone he finds attractive. If you've made yourself replaceable, you will be replaced. In social situations, there's always someone testing your boundaries, seeing how much they can get away with. If you don't establish and maintain boundaries, people will walk all over you. The key insight is this: don't start wars, but always be ready to finish them. The man who is prepared for conflict rarely has to engage in it. Why? Because people sense his readiness and choose easier targets. This is why bullies typically pick on people who won't fight back. This is why manipulative people target those with weak boundaries. This is why competitors go after markets with weak defenders. Here's your preparation strategy. Build your skills when you don't need them. Don't wait until you're job hunting to update your resume and network. Don't wait until your relationship is in trouble to work on yourself. Develop your capabilities during good times so you're ready when challenges arise. Save money when you're making it. Financial stress makes you vulnerable to manipulation and poor decisions. Having resources gives you options and reduces your desperation. Network when you don't need favors. Build relationships before you need them. Help others when you can so they'll help you when you need it. Stay in shape when you're not being threatened. Physical fitness isn't just about health, it's about confidence, mental toughness, and the ability to handle stress. Machiavelli's wisdom: the lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten wolves. Be both. This means develop both intelligence and strength. Be smart enough to see problems coming and strong enough to deal with them when they arrive. Fifth truth: the difference between being nice and being good. Asterisk, here's the biggest lie your father probably told you. Just be nice and people will like you. And if people like you, good things will happen to you. This might be the most damaging advice men receive, because it confuses being pleasant with being valuable, being agreeable with being respected. Machiavelli understood the difference between being nice and being good. Being nice is about avoiding discomfort, yours and others. Being good is about doing what's right, even when it's hard, even when it's unpopular, even when it costs you something. Let me give you a framework that will change how you see this forever. Nice guys avoid difficult conversations. They nod along when people say things they disagree with. They don't express their real opinions if they think it might cause conflict. They prioritize immediate harmony over long-term respect. Good men have difficult conversations. They tell their friends hard truths. They express their genuine opinions respectfully but clearly. They're willing to be temporarily disliked if it serves a greater good. Nice guys say what people want to hear. They tell their friend his terrible girlfriend is great. They agree with their boss even when he's wrong. They tell people their bad ideas are good. Good men say what people need to hear. They tell their friend his girlfriend is toxic. They respectfully challenge their boss when necessary. They help people improve by giving honest feedback. Nice guys seek approval. Their self-worth depends on others' opinions. They change their behavior based on who's around. They're terrified of disappointing anyone. Good men earn respect. Their self-worth comes from living according to their values. They're consistent, regardless of who's watching. They're willing to disappoint people who don't matter to avoid disappointing people who do. Want to know why women say they want nice guys but date bad boys? Because they confuse nice with weak and bad with strong. They don't actually want bad boys. They want strong, confident men. They just encounter more bad boys who are confident than good men who are confident. The attractive combination isn't nice or bad. It's good and strong. It's being kind but not weak, caring but not desperate, helpful but not servile. Don't look at any powerful man, CEOs, presidents, champions, leaders in any field. Are they nice in the way most people define it? Not really. They're fair. They help others, but they're not people pleasers. They're not afraid of disappointing people who don't matter. Here's the practical application. You can be kind without being weak. You can be good without being nice. Kindness comes from strength. You help others because you can, not because you need their approval. Niceness comes from weakness. You're pleasant because you're afraid of negative consequences. Goodness means doing right even when it costs you. Niceness means avoiding conflict even when conflict would serve justice. Machiavelli's insight. Men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims for his deceptions. Don't be the victim. Be the man who sees clearly and acts accordingly. Advanced applications. Putting it all together. Asterisk. Now that you understand these 5 principles, let me show you how they work together in real-world scenarios. Scenario 1. Workplace. Politics. Asterisk. Your co-worker is trying to undermine you with your boss. He's spreading subtle doubts about your competence while positioning himself as the solution. How most men handle this? They try to defend themselves with facts, work harder to prove their worth, or ignore it, hoping it goes away. How a strategic man handles this? First, he recognizes this is inevitable conflict principle for he doesn't take it personally. It's just competition. He prepares his defense while simultaneously going on offense. He appeals to his boss's emotions. Principle 1 by demonstrating results that make the boss look good. He builds strategic alliances. Principle 2 with others who can influence the situation. He controls his reputation. Principle 3 by being the one who presents solutions, not problems. And he doesn't try to be nice to the coworker. Principle 5. He's professional but not friendly. Scenario 2. Relationship dynamics. Asterisk. Your girlfriend starts becoming distant, less affectionate, more critical. She's testing your boundaries and possibly considering other options. How most men handle this? They become more accommodating, more available, more desperate to please. They have relationship talks, trying to logic their way back to connection. How a strategic man handles this? He recognizes this as inevitable relationship dynamics principle for he doesn't become more available. He maintains his own life and interests. He appeals to her emotions. Principle 1 by being less predictable, not more. He withdraws some loyalty. Principle 2 until she re-earns it. He maintains his attractive reputation. Principle 3 by not chasing or pleading, and he's willing to have difficult conversations. Principle 5 about expectations and consequences. Scenario 3. Social hierarchy. You're in a social group where one person constantly interrupts you, dismisses your opinions, and tries to make you the target of jokes. How most men handle this? They either tolerate it to keep the peace or explode emotionally, making themselves look unstable. How a strategic man handles this. He immediately recognizes this as a dominance test principle. He doesn't react emotionally, but responds strategically. He uses controlled responses that appeal to the group's desire. For harmony, principle 1, while establishing his boundaries, he withdraws his social investment principle 2 from the aggressor. While deepening it with others, he demonstrates higher value through his composed responses, principle 3. And he's willing to have the uncomfortable confrontation, principle 5, if necessary. The dark side, when others use these principles against you. Now that you understand these principles, you need to recognize when others are using them against you. Emotional manipulation. Someone consistently appeals to your emotions to get you to act against your interests. They make you feel guilty for having boundaries, excited about opportunities that aren't real, or afraid of consequences that won't happen. Loyalty, exploitation. Someone demands your loyalty while giving none in return. They frame their requests as tests of friendship or commitment, while never reciprocating. Reputation warfare. Someone tries to damage your reputation through strategic gossiping, positioning themselves as concerned while spreading doubt about your character. Manufactured conflict. Someone creates unnecessary drama and conflict to keep you off balance and defensive. False niceness. Someone is overly agreeable and accommodating to get close to you, then uses that proximity to manipulate or exploit. The defense against all of these is simple. Maintain your strategic thinking. Don't let emotions override your judgment. Demand reciprocity in all relationships. Control your reputation actively. Be prepared for conflict, and distinguish between genuine goodness and manipulative niceness. Implementation. Your 30-day action plan. Here's how to start implementing these principles immediately. Week 1. Emotional awareness. Practice recognizing when you're making decisions based on emotions versus logic. Start appealing to others' emotions in your requests and communications. Notice when others are trying to manipulate your emotions. Week 2. Strategic loyalty. Audit your relationships. Identify who reciprocates your investment and who doesn't. Start withdrawing investment from non-reciprocal relationships. Increase investment in relationships that prove their value. Week 3. Reputation management. Identify how you're currently perceived in key areas of your life. Start controlling your image more strategically. Practice controlled vulnerability and strategic mystery. Week 4. Conflict preparation. Identify potential conflicts in your career, relationships, and social life. Build your capabilities in key areas. Practice having difficult but necessary conversations. Conclusion. The man you're becoming. Here we are. I've just given you 5 truths that will make you see human nature differently forever, plus the advanced frameworks to implement them effectively. Your father didn't teach you these things because he probably didn't know them himself. Our society doesn't teach them because it wants men who are predictable, manageable, and weak. But you're not weak anymore. You understand that people are emotional, not rational. That loyalty must be earned and reciprocated. That reputation is strategic. That conflict is inevitable. That strength and goodness are not opposites. This isn't about becoming manipulative or evil. It's about becoming strategic and effective. It's about understanding the game everyone else is playing while pretending they're not playing it. The men who understand these principles become leaders. They become the ones others come to for advice, for solutions, for direction. They become respected rather than just liked. They become powerful rather than just nice. But with this power comes responsibility. Use these insights to build yourself up, not to tear others down. Use them to create value, not to destroy it. Use them to lead, not to manipulate. Remember Machiavelli's most famous quote, "It is better to be feared than loved. If you cannot, be both. But above all, never be ignored." You now have the knowledge to never be ignored again. You understand how power really works, how people really think, how success really happens. The question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you use it to become the man you're capable of becoming? Will you use it to build the life you actually want, rather than the life others expect you to want? The choice is yours. But now, at least, it's an informed choice. And remember, I probably shouldn't have taught you this, but here we are. Use it wisely.